Hey again, everyone. I said I would stick to this, so I'm going to try my best. So here goes vlog entry number 2. It is absolutely pouring in Texas today, so it's a great time to get this out of the way. I'm just going to show you the bridge by my house continuously overflows. This thing is ready to breach, but yeah, water everywhere. So fingers crossed that this doesn't continue for next week, because otherwise that is going to suck. But speaking of being outside in the rain, as I said, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do for camping. Again, the theory here is to do everything out of a van. So don't have to pack a tent, don't have to worry about a lot of traditional camping stuff. I am going to have the shelter of the vehicle, which is great. But let me take a minute and run you through the list of everything that I've kind of put together for this trip. So anybody who's spent much time with me knows that I'm pretty good on a motorcycle and I'm a terrible woodsman. That's not really my thing. I've gone camping one time in my life before, so this is certainly a bit of an excursion. Forgive me if I'm overkilling this because I don't know what to expect. But I am also taking the easy route out, not doing it in the middle of the backcountry. But this is what I've done for my supply bin. So I built another one of these quantum storage bins, probably a little bit OCD, but versus just throwing everything in, you can actually access stuff easily. So what I tried to sort it up into was, your basic life gear, right? Don't forget toilet paper, Tide, detergent, soap, dish soap, a general dry bag, a lot of those basics in there. Then we have our cooking stuff. So there's a lot of really special pots and pans and different lightweight different things you can buy. But the reality is I'm not backpacking. There's a difference between backpacking and camping. So what I did, forgive me for trying to use one hand at a time, these little camping cartridges for the camping stoves, you can just get these pretty cheap burners. They're just a single burner that mounts up, screws right onto the gas box or the gas container. And you can just use your standard pots and pans on there. Recommendation from most people is avoid anything non-stick just because it's just going to get beaten up. But in general, yep, this is my bin for cooking. Then I have, basics, towel, flip-flops for showering. Always good to just keep some paracord around in general. You never know when you'll need it. Sunscreen, all different kinds of stuff. Bug spray, make sure you keep a good hunting knife. So that's just kind of camp essentials. Then we have our fire making bin. So quick light fire sticks. These are waterproof. Also super important to keep some of these on you just in case you get stuck. I got a recommendation. It was funny. It was an Australian guy that was recommending it. He's like, basically, yeah, don't forget to bring a pair of welding gloves with you because, you'll want to be able to grab stuff in the fire. Who has welding gloves? Maybe in Australia they all do. I do, I guess, which was great. So I enjoyed watching his video, but probably not an expectation that most people would have it. So just get some good insulated gloves. And then, other stuff, right? You want to have a trowel to make sure you can dig out your fire pit. And I just brought a MAP gas container with one of these instant light Burns-O-Matics. That'll get the fire going really easy. And then I have other stuff. So, plates, stuff, keep warm gear. Always really important to get some headlamps. When you're at night and you're cooking, you need your hands, right? So having a headlamp is really good because it allows you to use both your hands as you're cooking and you can see when it gets dark. The other thing that I thought was a pretty cool technology was this guy. So this is a Garmin InReach device, and basically what it has is a satellite network where it can be reached anywhere in the world. So you could be in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and you can actually get a signal and send emails and text messages out. So that's sort of my backup safety gear. If anything goes wrong while I'm in the middle of the desert, then I can always reach somebody to do something about it. Final thing, again, being a terrible woodsman, electricity. These are awesome. So 1,000-watt power inverter. This gives you almost the power of a receptacle at your house. Always great to have electricity. You never know you're going to need that. And in my case, I will need it because the next thing here is sleeping. So yes, you could have all kinds of stuff for sleeping. I thought the easiest thing to do would just be get an inflatable bed. Given that it's going in the back of the van, kind of an easy solution versus a sleeping pad or some other lightweight thing that you would have to use for backpacking. But built-in pump. So gonna need to pump that up some way. It's meant to plug in the wall. The big thing is don't think that you can just plug this into the standard outlet in your car and you're gonna have enough power. Chances are you won't. Most of those sockets are only rated for 250 to 400 watts. That's why I need the big boy. This thing is pretty large, actually. I mean, it's kind of the size of my head. But they're not that expensive. You can get them on Amazon. I don't know how much, maybe $100. But then you got power at your campsite. So that's kind of the basics. Really not an extensive list, but should be enough to keep me fed, keep me warm, and allow me to sleep. So we'll see how it goes. And if it goes terrible, then I can learn for next time. A couple other things though, and let's pop over to the garage for a second. So 2 basics that are often overlooked: general purpose bucket, useful for all kinds of stuff. And then a big one, a plastic folding table. Cooking, just anything you're gonna do around the campsite, way easier if you're not trying to do it on the ground. Really important. This is not an easy to forget, but these things are awesome. They've started kind of coming on the scene. They're little chairs with shocks on them. I could not help but buy one of these things. They just rock. Camp chairs are not comfortable, but just being able to hang out and this thing's sweet. Totally worth the $70 at Cabela's. I just hope it lasts. No matter how many times I keep trying to make this video and think I'm done, I continually forget stuff. There's just so many things that I keep remembering I have to bring for this. So one of which is a cooler. That should be one of the 101s. Where are you gonna put your food? Super important to have a basic cooler, obviously. First aid, also an essential. Also an essential of first aid is make sure that you have on body, like on my backpack or whatever, first aid, and then a more comprehensive kit for back at camp. Super important. So food, first aid, and then water. Even if they're empty, make sure you just bring some big containers, a couple gallons of water. That's going to be super important. But in general, so I think I'm in the home stretch. I have packed so much crap. The garage is getting really full with all the stuff. Lots of blue bins, lots of bike prep that is done. So right there, ready to leave. Tuesday morning, I'm heading out, so probably won't make another entry post until then. But when I hit the road, I will, and probably post it up that night. But wish me luck on the weather. It is still coming down like crazy here. New Mexico's a long way away. They hopefully have a different weather pattern out there, but no guarantees. All right, guys, talk to you soon.